and today I am going to be talking about animal factory farms. I'm going to go over the effects that they have on our environment, our human health, and also the animal health. I'll briefly cover consumer awareness and then alternatives that we as consumers have to not eating the factory farmed meat. So the environment, the effects that these factory farms have to our environment are obviously pollution. The emissions that they emit are more than all of transportation combined, so that's cars, buses, trains, boats, and airplanes. The amount of resources that it takes to produce 1 pound of meat is astounding. It takes 2,500 gallons of water to produce just 1 pound of beef. And then also because these animals are confined in such small spaces, their waste has nowhere to go. The ground is unable to absorb it, so it then gets washed into our waterways, polluting those. For the human health, the neighborhoods that surround these factory farms have to deal with the waterways being polluted, like I had just mentioned. And then they also have to deal with a constant smell in the air from the emissions from this factory farm. Now, the pesticides that are used on this animal food that we eat the meat, the pesticides are known to cause diseases such as cancer. And then because these animals are confined in a small space, they are injected with antibiotics to decrease the risk of them contracting diseases, which is then consumed by us. And then obviously the animal health. They are injected with growth hormones so that they grow at a higher rate. They have no room to move. They are in one spot. They can't usually turn around or sit down. And a lot of times they're just standing in their own waste. And it's a lot of mental suffering for them. It's not a natural habitat for them to be stuffed into these confined spaces. Also, on their way to be slaughtered, it's also mentally stressing for them as well. So consumer awareness, there's availability of research. Social media is a great one. So Facebook, Instagram, depending on who you follow on those websites, such as the Humane Society will post a video or pictures which then get shared and viewed by millions. So it's a great way to become aware of what is actually happening in these farms. And then also documentaries such as Netflix, Prime Video are great examples of documentaries that you can watch to become more educated about the food that we're eating. So some alternatives to eating the meat would obviously be vegetarianism. So that one's tough because it would totally be eliminating your meat. Plant-based is more beneficial for you and for the planet. There are such options as the Impossible Burger, which is plant-based hamburger, which is becoming more and more popular. I know restaurants in my area serve them, as well as some fast food restaurants as Burger King. Now, if giving up meat entirely is not something that individuals want to do, there is a flexitarian diet, which is mostly plant-based, with just a little bit of meat in the diet. And then also you could do smaller portion sizes. The example I like to use is if you have a salad, maybe put some meat on top so that the salad is the main course, but the meat is, the kind of the side dish of the meal. Then you're not eating as much of the meat. And then buying local. If you have the option to buy local, it is definitely better. The animals are living in a more natural habitat. A lot of the times they're grass-fed, and they're just raised more humanely. There is a website called eatwell.com that you can either click on your state that you live in, or the put in your zip code, and it will provide farms in your area that sell local meat, eggs, things of that nature. So it's just, the more consumers become aware of their food that they're eating, the more it's going to be important that these factory farms would have to stop. Thank you.